Thanks for joining tonight. We're going to start off session one of A Nightly Hunt. This is the first session of a new series for one-shots of this season. We have our three characters for this. We have Algar, being played by none other than Brett. We have Inara, being played by Bree. And we have Winchester, being played by James. We're still within the city of Lyalisk, the port city on the far west-north region of Faerun. These three fine adventurers are members of a guild referred to as the Nature's Watch. They have been tasked to monitor and keep peace within the natural life and wilderness around the city of Lyalisk. Majority of their work is done as charity, as they are given free lodge within the city. The guild is ran by a half-orc by the name of Virian Oakenhorn. He's well respected in the city and by the council of Lyalisk. These three adventurers have been with the Nature's Watch for quite some time, run quite a few errands for them, and are very, very familiar with the wilderness around. Our adventurers, we have Algar, who is a bugbear. We also have Winchester, another bugbear, and Inara, the elf. These three have received letters from Virian to meet him at the guild house. All of them live nearby. Each arrive to the Nature's Watch in their own separate time. Algar, you are the first to arrive. You're familiar with the Nature's Watch. It's a large stone building with a few paths and turns within. The entryway is an open door, but you know the moment you step into the first room, it dispels all magical effects. You must close the door behind you before opening the door into the guild house. You know there are a few other individuals that live within the guild house other than Virian. One being the mushroom keeper, Uradas. The other, an elf with a bad attitude, Eliekli. And then Virian's mate, a satyr by the name of Leonia. You know, he primarily spends a majority of his time dwelling in the Rose Garden in the center of Nature's Watch. The building has a glass ceiling to it, allowing sunlight and view above it. You're the first to arrive. Do you wish to just head directly toward Virian, or what would you like to do?
I'm the first to arrive?
Yes.
I would
So,
just...
real quick,
Mhm.
we're going to get right into it. So everybody, grab an ale, prepare for a tale, for all are welcomed at the Banshee's Wail. Algar, we'll have you kick it off from here.
I would go just directly into the town.
Okay, so you're heading straight from your house, which is nearby the Nature's Watch. The Nature's Watch on the map is the star.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you just heading straight there?
I would just head straight there. Very direct person. Just not much going on there that I don't tell you, so just be the direct approach.
Okay. So you leave your house and begin making your way over to the Nature's Watch. The city streets are bustling as normal. Many people moving about, carts and wagons being pulled through the streets. The population of Lyalisk is very high, and they're looking at doing some expansions. You're aware of the council and a lot of the plans as you're a part of the committee. Many people moving about. Seems like a normal day. You pass by some of the merchant stands just kind of on the street, kind of keeping your head straight, and you just walk directly down the road as you're a bit awkward and people actually just move around you. You don't really move out of the way.
No. Yeah, I'm only 9 foot tall, so I might be getting a few looks, but just keep going.
Very direct. So you keep your face forward. You get some eyes and glances as you walk through. A lot of the people are familiar with you, but those that aren't kind of keep their distance. You end up in front of the doors of the Nature's Watch, and you go through the normal ritual. You open the first door. You can feel kind of the anti-magic barrier in the first room. You close the door and open the door into the guild house. You look down the path. You know that the mushroom garden room is to the right. The path to the center rose garden room is directly down the main hall. And there's a few other chambers down the hall to the left.
Okay. I would go walk right for the mushroom chamber. Check in on my pal there. I'm very food oriented, so I feel like I'd become good friends with him.
Yeah, you
Just
take the right path and kind of peek around the corner to see what's going on. You see the large mushroom garden has kind of almost overgrown in that room. Mushrooms are actually running up the walls, and some of the mushrooms are as large, taller than some dwarves you know. And you see Uridas sitting there, kind of push with a pouch. He's taking some powder out and kind of like sprinkling it over the mushrooms.
I'd walk up to Uridas and just go, "Hello, Uridas. How are the mushrooms today?"
You're a large fella, but your footsteps are quiet. You walk up behind Uridas and say this. He gets startled. Ah! Well, Algar, it's a pleasure to see you.
And you? You hear any news going on today? Anything different?
You look over Uridas. He's a very old elf, shorter than every other elf you know, possibly somewhere in his bloodline. But he's short, a long white beard. He wears light blue robes with a cloth hat that kind of drapes down the back. His long pointed ears go out to the side. I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time for me?
Have you heard any new news today?
The mushrooms tell me there's something going on in the forest.
Ooh.
Yes, something wicked.
Sounds ominous. Maybe I should go check in with the captain.
Yeah, I heard he's looking for you. Remember, keep your ear to the fungi.
Have a good day, Uridas. And I'll just walk out and head right towards the captain. What was his name again?
Virian Oakenhorn. So you make your way down the pathway, and as you leave the mushroom chamber, you go into the main path between the door and the other hallways, and you see Inara just entering into the guild house.
Hello, Nara. How are you today?
I nod.
You know Inara's a little bit awkward in conversation.
Well, that sounds good. I'm going to see Virian. Would you like to join?
I nod again.
Alright. And I'll just start walking towards Varian.
I follow.
You make your way toward the main center chamber of the guild house, Algar. As you're walking down, Inara is awkwardly close behind you, but she's just kind of looking around, just following your pace. You walk to the door to the center chamber. It's a glass door with a thin frame around it. You turn the handle, you stop, and Inara kind of bumps into your back a little bit, following too close.
I just hold my hand up and try to get Virian's attention without breaking down the door on accident.
You look through the glass door and peer in. You can see Virian standing in the center of the room by the small lake, small pond that's in there. He seems to be looking up through the skylight, somewhere lost in thought.
Okay. I'd open the door and just go, Virian, I hear you wanted to see us.
You take your pointer finger and your thumb, you reach down and grab the doorknob and twist it very gently and open the door, peer in and call out to Virian. You see he acknowledges that he hears you, looks over, nods, and waves his hand to come closer to him, and then looks back up into the sky.
I'd walk up behind him and look up and see if I can see what he's seeing.
Roll me a nature check.
Ooh. Oh, get to right screen here 1 second. Wow, that's the low.
You look up and you can see the sky above. Some clouds have rolled in. It's early day. The sun isn't above yet, but there's layers of clouds above. Virian looks over to you.
The clouds say much, young one. Can you read them?
Something dark, ominous is going on in the forest. Something perhaps to do with the fungi.
Roll me a deception check.
I see you spoke with Uradas.
Of course.
One day you will understand the clouds. But you are correct. But we must wait for another.
And as he says this, you actually look back as you hear the door squeak as Winchester enters into the center rose chamber as well.
Rose, you said?
The rose chamber, which you're currently in. Winchester enters in. Virian looks over at you, Winchester.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on?
We have received a task from Council Member Ezekiel.
Winchester, you walk up next to Inara and Algar, standing by Virian. You also see past Virian, Liania, the satyr, has her feet in the small pond, kind of leaned back, looking up at the skylight as well.
I was just telling the others, there is a disturbance in the forest just east.
Oh, I see. Well, what kind of disturbance are we looking at?
Well, we have somewhat of an idea. Councilmember Ezekiel actually brought it up to my attention. There is a small...
Oh, real quick. And Mark, can you set it up to enable redirect for me? The stream. Check the chat. Sorry, telling our tech goblin. Okay.
Yes. So, the disturbance in the forest. Councilmember Ezekiel told me about it. He is concerned. We lost communication with a small village just out there. I sent my trusty hawk to scout over, and he's correct. The village has been abandoned, deserted. Some of the buildings completely destroyed. My friend could only get so close. It seems like some giant spiders have overran the village.
I slowly look at Anara and Algar. Spiders?
Doesn't sound good.
I hope none of you are too afraid of spiders.
He looks over at Inara.
I make a disgusted face.
I'm sure you will fare well. But please, deal with the spiders and find out what happened in the village. There's a dark aura around it that has for quite the concern. Can I trust this to you three?
Of course.
Well, if there are spiders involved, I'm absolutely out. But I think I'll stick it out for this one.
I know I can always trust on you, Algar.
We'll just hear Elgar mutter something under his breath and tap his spear on the ground twice and it just lights up on fire. Yes, we can take care of spiders.
And I know I can trust in you, Winchester, and Inara.
Absolutely.
Please, spread good name of our guild. There are some that think we should let nature fend for itself. But as you know, there are some things unnatural that must be dealt with.
Agreed. We can't let those take advantage.
Will the three of you be able to leave immediately, or do you have something that requires your attention?
When we say spiders, how big are these spiders?
Well, smaller than you and Algar, but shorter than Inara, but overall about her size.
So we got Anaras with 8 legs.
And,
Thanks.
fangs.
As the giant half-orc with antlers puts his hands up and kind of mimics little pincer fangs.
It shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you. Please report back to me as soon as you come back, and I will let Councilmember Ezekiel know it had been dealt with. He seems to be very interested in what's going on, so I believe it to be dire.
Will do.
All right, do the three of you head that way immediately? He does tell you where in the forest that this small village is. You're very familiar with it. You just have to travel the road north and then going east, breaking off to a small path that leads directly to the village.
I would say to the group, just should we go to the town and maybe get off the beaten path once we're close to see what's up?
I would agree with that. Kind of flank out and do a little recon, see what we're looking at.
Sounds good to me. I have nothing going on today. I'm ready to head out when you guys are.
All right. You head out from Lyalisk, walking through the city. Normal day. As you're walking, Algar, you keep looking up at the sky and watching the clouds to try and see maybe what Virion talks about, but they just look like clouds to you. You leave the city of Lyalisk and get onto the open road just north of it and begin where the split goes. You take the eastern road. Outside of the city, it's much quieter. You get that nice cool air, the breeze running through the grass fields, the open air, and quiet all around, reminding you just how beautiful it is outside of the city as well. The three of you haven't worked together in quite some time. Inara and Winchester, you did work for Virion about a year ago, dealing with some Underdark creatures. But since then, have not worked together. Do you guys want to say anything about each other on what you are mostly capable of, comfortable with going forward?
Me to them or them to each other?
To each other.
I would just say that I'm comfortable doing anything that needs to be done to protect the forest.
I would agree with that. What's best for the forest. And if there is any magic or unknown forces, we can take care of that.
And Inara, as they talk about defending the forest and doing what needs to be done, you get a little excited.
And then I stand there playing with the leaves on the trees, nodding and smiling for the first time all day.
And she reaches down and touches her weapon a little bit, getting a little antsy. Winchester, working with Inara recently, you know when it comes to combat, her personality kind of flips. And you know you must watch her closely. And Inara, as you guys are walking down the East Road, you know it's going to be a few hours before you get near the village. You summon your little friend. If you would like to say his name to the others and introduce him.
Carinio, my Drake. But you can call him Kai because he'll still respond for the most part if he wants to.
Winchester, you're familiar with Kai, but Algar, you have not seen her do this before. And she twirls her hand next to her, and as she's walking, this medium size, about her waist in height, four-legged drake appears next to her, walking with her.
That's some neat magic you got there. And he wouldn't seem too surprised. Being a furball, he's pretty magically in tune, even though he doesn't use magic.
You suddenly get the urge to pet the little drake.
I go for it. Let's try to tap his head gently. I'm aware of my strength and try not to hurt anyone.
And Algar, I'm a wood maker, and this is my little pet mouse too. You can give him a pet too.
Other hand.
Thank you.
Oh wow! And looks like we have a DAC raid coming in.
Ew.
Yeah. Welcome, Worm Gang. Welcome in. If you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, we're playing the first episode of a nightly hunt. We have our 3 adventurers here. They're heading off to deal with the task. But thank you all for hopping in. Please leave a like while you're here and grab an ale and prepare for a tale, because tonight's going to be fun.
Yeah.
No warning to our players, of course.
No TPKs though, right?
No TPKs, probably, maybe.
I don't know what that means.
Team
Total
party,
party
kill.
kill.
Oh, total party kill.
Oh,
It means you all die.
Probably not, but maybe sometimes.
don't get dead.
I totally am not known for doing that whatsoever.
No dragons showed up on the first little bit that you played with Dakota. No.
No. Hey, Dakota hit a kobold with another kobold.
That obviously makes a dragon.
Yes. And then, I had to kill him with Krampus that one time. He doesn't hold that against me whatsoever. He doesn't miss Deadeye. But we'll get back into it. So the 3 of you are following the eastern road, heading to the small town. What is all of your passive perception? If you could just, we'll start with Algar. What's your passive perception?
Where is that again? Sorry.
Toward the middle, left-hand side. It'll say passive wisdom perception.
Oh, it's 11.
And Inara, what is yours?
13.
And Winchester, what is yours?
1 second, it's loading. Hold on.
Good. Let me see. Okay. So Winchester, yours is 14. I just loaded your character sheet real
14.
quick.
Okay.
So you are the first one to notice. You are about 3/4 of the way to the small town, following the road. So you're getting close to that forest, and you kind of feel this menacing aura coming from it. And as you do, you look up and you see something flying above, circling. And it turns and starts beelining down toward you. How do you react?
I'm gonna take a jump step to my left, thinking that it might be the hawk that was scouting.
Okay. So you take a jump step to your left. Let me move that for you. And as you do, this large creature swoops down past you. You get a good look at it as it does and kind of flies off behind you. It is a royal griffin. You know them to be not common in the area, but there's a few of them. And they are generally timid and leave people alone on the road. This one seems to be extremely aggressive. And I'm going to move you guys here in 1 second.
While Rob's doing that, you'll just see Algar with a hand on a tree and just hear very softly, "Don't worry, we'll take care of spiders. Nothing will hurt you." So you can talk to plants and beasts He just can't understand them.
It's always a one-way conversation.
Yeah.
No one thinks you're crazy at all. No one, Algar. No one thinks you're crazy.
Well, Winchester can do it too. It's a Furbolg thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Inara, you totally don't think they're crazy.
I stand there looking at them like this. And then I pet Kai's head and I tell him, Laikiri. Which means calm.
And let me see here. Okay, so I'm going to move it here. Okay, so the griffin flies past you guys. All of you see it as it flies past. And you see it kind of getting back into the sky and turning around to make its way back to you. Do any of you do anything before it gets close?
I would position myself to where I think it would be close, but still trying to stay within 5 feet of my 2 members.
Okay, so it's flown up kind of above a mountainy hillside. You saw Winchester kind of duck as you turn around to your right, and Inara and her Drake are to your left, kind of further down the road. So you're just going to get in between where the griffin is and your party members?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And if our tech goblin could switch us over to battle. Okay, perfect. So now that we are there, I'm going to start combat. Well, we need the tech goblin, so he needs his coffee. All worth it. Okay. So, Algar, you rush between your party members and... Oh, let me actually move Drake. And the Royal Griffin flies around. You see it focus its attention on you and dart in front of you. It
Perfect.
comes a ways toward you and makes 3 attacks. One with its beak. And what is your armor class, real quick?
I am 20.
It flies with its beak, still hovering in the air. You block its beak attack as it swipes twice with its claws. You move out of the way of one, but its back hind leg claws at you, swiping down your leg. You take 13 slashing damage,
Okay.
and it flies past you fast enough to where, with its flyby, does not provoke attacks of opportunity.
Even with my protection abilities.
Yep, it does not
Okay.
provoke at all. So it's about, it flies past you a little ways down the road and hovers about 10 feet in the air. And we will actually go to Algar.
Yes. Oops. Sorry. Perfect. We'll use all my movement to get up close to him. And would I know the nature of the Celestial Griffins? Would I know that they're usually passive and leave people alone?
Yes, you're familiar with them. You know that there's only a few remaining in this forest, and they are usually passive. You've never actually seen one this aggressive and just outright attacking people.
I will try to use my Speak of Beast and Leaf and just say, we are going to the town to the east to rid the town of the spiders and the evil in this forest.
All right. And DPS, that is too kind of a comment. And he says, I remind him of Ryan Reynolds. That's too kind of you. So you speak with the griffin for a brief moment, trying to get somewhat of a conversation with it.
Yep.
It does not speak back. It kind of just screeches in no language, almost like it's in pain.
For my bonus action, can I just try to investigate him, see if there's anything off?
Yeah, make me just a perception check.
Ooh, I don't think I'm great at those. Not that
And we'll
great.
do this as your free action, so it doesn't hold up any of your actions. You look over the griffin. You can't see any specific wounds or anything like that, but you do see a little bit of blood on some of its feathers.
Interesting. And for my action, can I just hold block or dodge? Sorry.
You want to do the dodge action?
Yeah, just
Okay.
hold it. And that would be it for me.
All right. Winchester, you watch as Algar runs up to the griffin. He kind of looks it over, and you can hear him try to speak with it. You also understand the griffin to a degree, and you hear its screech in pain, which kind of intrigues you on why. But you see Algar, instead of attacking the griffin, kind of hold his shield up in a defensive stance.
So I understand that the griffin is in distress, and I'm walking to approach in a non-threatening way, attempting to use one of my spells to cure wounds.
Okay. Roll me your cure wounds. So you go to your spell sheet and click cure wounds, and you select what level, and then get rid of that spell slot of whatever level you use it at. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I click the.
Oh, you just click the name of. There you go. Okay. Let me do.
Level. Which level are we?
So these are your spell slots. So you can use it up to level. I mean, you can up to level 6, but you only have one 6th level spell slot. So it's however high of a level you want to use it at.
Level 3.
Okay.
Yeah, level 3.
So you burn a level 3 spell slot. You run up to the Royal Griffin and reach out your hand. You pat it on the side and heal its wounds to a degree. So you run over. You get close enough to it on its side. You see a large claw mark across its kind of torso area where a chunk of its flesh had been taken out. You touch by it and heal the wound closed. It looks over at you frantically, and you see its wings kind of beat around. And is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, just still in a non-threatening way, just letting the griffin know that it's okay as I kind of slowly back away.
Okay. You slowly back away from the griffin, and it does not attack you. And then we'll move to Inara. So you see this kind of encounter between them go on. Inara, what are you going to do? You watch as Winchester kind of runs up and puts his hands on the griffin and then backs away, and you can see the griffin kind of flying around, looking around frantically.
I draw my bow, but pointing it at the ground, still far away and non-threateningly, and I just keep it drawn for right now. Very uncomfortable that no one is fighting.
So you have your arrow drawn, and you're just going to pass your turn?
Yep.
Okay. And of course, Kai just kind of sits by your legs, just behind you, watching. The griffin looks at the two of you close to it, and it just looks around, and Algar, being so close to it, it kind of gets up to your face, and you can hear it speak in Celestial. You're allowed to hear it with your speak to animal. It speaks in a language that you're not necessarily familiar with, but you can understand it. And it just says, "Run, be afraid," and it takes off into the air.
I'll look to. Would anyone else have heard that? I'm assuming not.
No, just you.
I would regroup in a, not a huddle, but kind of close enough to everyone hear easily. He said, "Run, be afraid." I take it he doesn't like spiders either.
I kind of look up. I'm like, that son of a gun. I healed you and you just left. No more information.
So the three of you get together and you kind of pass that message on. Inara, kind of watching that encounter from a distance, you notice that the griffin flies the exact opposite direction from the small village.
Makes sense. And just for the audience, Furbolgs typically try not to attack unless they have to, so that's gonna dictate a little bit how Algar reacts, at least. And everyone else, I'm just ready to head on down to the town.
All right. And for those that didn't know, they approached the griffin. It was injured, and rather than kind of dealing more damage to it and trying to end it, they healed its wounds. It gave them a warning and flew off.
And let me know when we get close to the outside of the town.
Okay. So, going kind of into the theater of mind here. So the three of you regroup. Algar, you kind of wrap some cloth around your leg where the griffin attacked you to kind of stop the bleeding that was there, patching it up a little bit. And where it attacked you, in the road just ahead is where the small path branches off from the main road to lead to the small village. You follow that for some time. You know it's about about an hour trek on that beaten path to get to the village. You get near it, just outside where you can see the clearing for the village through the tree line. What do you want to do before kind of approaching the village?
You guys would just see Elgar touch his hand to his breastplate and just close his eyes, and he's going to invoke his storm rune and try to focus on the cause of the corruption of this town, which allows him to glimpse into the future.
Okay, throw your storm rune in the chat real quick.
Yep. Pop.
me see here. Okay, so you invoke your Storm Rune. You get a brief moment into the future. You look around kind of in this vision where everything's gray, black, and white. It's completely quiet, no noise, and you're looking around. It's nighttime in the forest, and you look around and you just see this large creature, the shadow moving through the forest. And you see it crush a building in the town. It looks at you, and its form is almost shifting like a shadow. And then it continues on. You can't move from this spot, but you watch it kind of go through. You can't tell the form of the creature. It's larger than the house itself that it crushed.
Okay.
And as that happened, you watched as some spiders kind of dispersed out from the house. And then your vision ends and you come back.
So it noticed me in my vision.
Yes.
Great. Good news and bad news. Whatever this is that is causing the issue in the town now knows we're coming. But we do know it's larger than a house, and it's rather heavy. It stepped on a house and completely crushed it. And I should probably explain a little bit about myself. I can use some of these runes, and you just see like runes light up on his armor. And I get a glimpse into the future a little bit.
That is good to know.
Yeah.
So, like, how much bigger than a house, though?
It stepped on it and crushed it. I couldn't really tell the form. It was like trying to disguise itself, I think, because it noticed me looking into the future.
Was it a giant spider, or it's not the spider?
I don't know. Spiders came crawling out of the house it crushed.
Even grosser. Perfect. Wonderful. Amazing.
Yeah. So at least we know what we're up against, sort of.
Yeah, at least it knows we're coming, so might as well go in
Yeah,
blazing.
that is true.
Do you want me to send Kai to take a quick look, or should we just...
Maybe leave the
Go
little
for
guy
it.
out of this for a while.
Fair enough.
Don't sacrifice the baby.
There was a griffin that just told us to fucking run, so
I
we're
mean, he
not going to
can
do that quite
fly.
yet.
He doesn't have to land.
Kai can fly.
Let's see when we get a little closer, and then we can kind of peer in.
All right.
Okay. So the three of you want to get a bit closer to the village to kind of get a look over it.
How close are we right now?
Enough to see the clearing through the tree line. So I'd say about 30 to 40 yards out.
Oops.
30 or 40 yards. Okay. I'd say we get a little bit closer. Just gain a little ground.
Okay. So you begin to get closer to this village, and as you do, the three of you just familiar with the area in this forest very well. You notice the tree roots have overgrown and are coming out of the ground and sprouting around. Thorny vines have begun wrapping around many of the trees. The bushes are unruly, and some of them are half dying almost, where the So the leaves are wilted, but the other half is prospering. You get closer to the village, you can see some of the stone structure houses have broken down a little bit, worse for wear, and the vines and plants have completely overgrown and taken a lot of the buildings.
I wish I could understand what the plants say back to me. It'd make this a lot easier. What do you guys want to do?
And just for kind of perspective, the three of you are coming south to the village. So you're at the north point, and from where you are near the clearing. You can see a stone building directly in front of you, kind of going horizontal lengthwise to you, with a couple more. And you see a large tree in the center of the village, actually grown taller than all of the trees around it.
So I can speak with plants if you want me to use that spell and ask them some questions.
Might not hurt. Have some intelligence, maybe, of what's been going on. I know they don't have eyes, but they should be able to feel what's happened.
Well, let me just ask them real quick.
Okay. So you cast your spell to speak with the plants around you. As you do, you kind of open your mind and ears to your surrounding with the plants. And as soon as you do, you start hearing cackling, laughs, loud, high-pitched kind of wails from the trees around, all saying, "Leave, leave, 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 leave," in unison. And from the bushes and even the grass beneath your feet, it's all just laughing chaotically.
What happened here that you want us to leave so fast?
It grows quiet. All the laughs stop. The chanting of leaves stop. And you hear a voice kind of come through all of them at once. And it says, "This is mine now."
Not awesome.
And we all hear that.
No, just her. And it's in the back of your head, almost like a whisper, just, "It's mine now."
So, pretty sure the big dude that saw you in your vision also just heard me talking to the little plant dudes, and he said it's his now, and they all said to leave. So, it's real bad.
Quite
You said
disturbing.
Do you have an idea of what it is by chance?
Yeah, 3 words for you, Chester. Big, scary monster.
Well, no, he said it's mine now.
Pretty sure he's talking about the plants and the town and the big ass tree.
Well then.
Her deductive skills on point.
Elgard look at the big ass tree, and is there vines growing up that, like thorny vines?
From the
you're saying.
distance, from how far away you are, because the tree is in the center of this
Okay.
small village, you can see thorns and vines wrapped around it, yes.
maybe we just have to do some gardening, and then he'll like. Are there any vines close to him, like
Close to who?
Elgar?
Oh, yes, there are vines and thorns all around you, covering the trees, intertwined in the bushes.
And I'm assuming he would know if they were supposed to be there or not, right? Being who he is.
Yes, you know the vines are natural in this area, but not to this extent. And kind of going on with the other plant life, the trees are very overgrown. Their roots aren't even spread out in a systematic way. Everything's kind of just chaotic.
Okay. I think you'd just grab one of the thorny vines and see if he can't rip it free.
Okay. Make me an athletics check.
Athletics.
You grab hold of one of the vines on the tree closest to you, and you pull on it. You can actually feel it fight back a little. You rip the vine, enough of it in your hand. You hear it snap, and you hold it in your hand, and the vine, still alive, begins wrapping around your hand.
I don't think this is normal. And I just try to like rip it off of the other hand and throw it to the ground.
You grab hold of the vine as it's wrapping and kind of take a second. Some of the thorns make small cuts in your hand, but you throw it off to the side.
Okay. I think we need to get rid of these vines, and that might provoke our big scary monster to come out.
Didn't you do a little tippy tappy flamey dude?
Oh,
little
this?
bit ago?
And it's just on fire.
What if we just try and burn it like a little bit? You know what I'm saying?
Just as
I
she's
have an
saying that, he
idea.
just puts it to the vine.
Just the little piece that you threw on the ground, or like one of the ones
Where
on
I
the-
grabbed it from, just like the main vine I ripped it off from.
You put the flame from your spear on that piece of vine, and it ignites. And Inara, you still have your spell active. It's been quiet since then. As soon as he does that, you hear just a high-pitched, ear-bleeding scream from everything around you as he burns it, echoing in your ears, your head. It takes over, and you actually kind of drop down in pain from just the scream as it continues, and then all stops at once.
I'd just be holding it, looking at her like, It's
Safe
working.
to say, it didn't like that at all.
oh. Do you think it was the plant speaking that time, or the other thing?
Now that I can't be sure, it was just very loud and very screaming.
Ooh. What was your plan, Winchester?
Oh, Winchester, you're muted.
I was
we got
gonna do. Okay. I was gonna do an Aguri spell, where I can play a course of action over the next 30 minutes.
Pop that spell in the chat. You just hit the little chat bubble next to it. Augury. Let's see here.
Augury. My enunciation is off. and I let
Okay.
Algar and I let you guys know I have a spell that I'm going to cast, and I can play out the next 30 minutes and get an idea of what we're looking for. So it's kind of like going into the future, but going, is this a good idea or bad idea? What would you guys have me do with this spell? What would you want me to play out before I use it?
Well, he can see you doing things in the future. Do you guys think he could manipulate the outcome of this?
Is that possible? It's not necessarily a vision. It's from a entity from another world.
Real quick, Winchester, roll me an Arcana check.
Okay. Can you walk me through that really quick?
So on your main character sheet, left-hand side, where all of your skills are, Arcana is near the top.
Okay.
Would I be able to assist him because I have an advantage on Arcana checks?
No, because it's his own spell that he's kind of thinking about.
Yeah, that's on spells.
What was that?
Other sheet. Go to your core
That's in
sheet.
spells.
Oh, yeah.
Core sheet.
Okay.
Yeah, left-hand side, like where you would roll athletics, all of that. You'll see
Gotcha.
Arcana. Okay.
Balls.
You're familiar enough with your own spell, Augury. It allows you to kind of talk to entities, otherworldly entities you're familiar with, like the Fae. In this case, you're trying to contact some sort of nature spirit within the forest. So you know, unless it is also altered by what's going on, it will be truthful to you.
Gotcha.
So do you want tell your party to give you a minute while you cast this, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, I think we should cast it, at least maybe even get somewhat of an idea if this thing already knows we're here. I mean, the element of surprise is no surprise at all.
Yeah. Maybe see if your patron knows how we could hurt whatever it is we're dealing with.
Yeah, because it's playing out a course of action over the next 30 minutes. So I think I can kind of go in there. Like, what would you guys have me do? Investigate more of the tree, or just kind of go directly into the town and get a good look at what this thing is?
And do you actually have to go into the town while you're doing this, or can you like think it?
No,
Cool.
yeah.
I would check out the center tree. See if that has anything to do with it. What about you, Inara?
Well, I think we all know that my first resort is violence. So let's go stab something. I don't know. Go in there and stab some shit and see what happens, right? You know, just
Step on some spiders.
stab the tree a little. I mean, no offense, tree. We'll fix you later, but like stab some stuff. I'm getting itchy.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to cast Augury with the thought of going toward the center tree.
Yep. Go towards the center tree. I'll walk through, kind of investigate the surroundings, and somewhat between stabbing the tree or getting a feel for what's going on.
Okay.
And
And in your thoughts, this is for you to decide. Are you going by yourself, or would you tell your friends to go with you?
can they come with me in the augury?
You will see an outcome of them
They-
either coming with you or not.
They are coming with me, just to get a full circle of stepping, footing. Just yeah.
Okay. So you cast Augury, so I'll remove your second level spell slot. You take a moment, casting it over a minute, everything quiet around you. And Dak, have a good night. Thanks for stopping and thanks for rating the channel. Really appreciate it. Always fun to have you. Hopefully we can have you in for a session here soon. So you take a moment, the two of you watch, kind of sitting back, not on any of the plants because you don't trust them, but just standing a little ways from Winchester, and he kind of goes into a trance. He has his eyes closed. A minute passes, his eyes open, but they're rolled back, and he faces his head up to the sky. Winchester, you see yourself similar to Algar's vision. Everything's kind of black and white around you in this vision world. You stand up, and you don't hear anything or say anything, but you move your mouth and tell your friends to go on. The three of you group together and come down the north path into the small village. You walk through in between a couple of the buildings. You look to your left and right. The buildings are destroyed. Through a couple of the small broken pieces of the building, you see little things kind of scurry around inside of the buildings. You ignore that with your focus going toward the middle tree. You make your way to the middle tree, and this thing is large. Its trunk is huge, big enough to where you could reach your arms out both ways and not grab it whole. And it's tall, at least 30 feet tall, bigger than all of the trees around. The vines on here are also thicker. The thorns are huge, almost to the size of a basilisk's teeth. You approach the tree, and as you do, you feel your vision self. You stop, and you turn around, and you see Inara with her blade has stabbed you in the back. And your vision is cut short.
Did we do good?
We didn't do anything.
What happened?
I went in. I was walking towards the tree. There were a lot of furry creatures. I wasn't paying too much attention because of the size of the tree. It's massive. As I got closer to the tree, Inara, you stabbed me in the back, and that's when I woke up from the vision.
I mean, I like stabbing things a lot, but I am not gonna stab you. Right?
Maybe you would if you didn't think Winchester was Winchester.
So this could be one of a couple things. Either A, this tree, this thing might have some kind of control or mind control power, or that thing got inside my vision and used that as a tactic to scare us away.
I think he's having fun with us.
Because you would never do that, right, Amar?
I mean,
Inara.
I really do like stabbing things a lot, but I only like stabbing things that would also stab me. It's
not
no
me, right?
fun. Do you want to stab me, Chester? No? Well, then I guess we're fine, right?
But that's all I got, so I'm not sure what we're dealing with, or what our next move should be.
Let's
I'm
maybe
nervous.
not go to the tree right away. Just not saying that you would stab him, just, to be safe.
And real fast, just because somebody did ask, Inara's speak with plants at this point has ended. The amount of time that they've kind of sat around, and him going into the vision, taking that, using it, and all of that, her speak with plants ended a bit ago.
Well, I don't think unless you have some other abilities, Anara, I don't think we're gonna get any other information. We want to go into some of these buildings and smush some bugs. Or stab. Maybe you like to stab.
I do love stabbing.
I say Snooky, say smoosh smoosh.
I mean,
Death by snoosh snoosh.
I can't say I can think of. Actually, I do have one other thing that theoretically, maybe, possibly, potentially could work. I can use my primeval awareness, that word, to sense a selected creature. And I don't really know what this is, but I mean, theoretically, I should be able to sense giant spider pooping man. Right?
Sorry. That could you pop that ability, either spell or in your abilities, into the chat? You just hit the little chat bubble next to it.
And as soon as I find, oop, there it is. A chat booble.
Okay. Spell site expand, you can sense. So you pick. This allows you to pick what type of creature you would like to sense to see if it's in the area.
It doesn't tell me which type of creature's in the area.
Nope.
Well, that's
So
some chicken nuggets right there.
So you have to pick, and you burn a spell slot to see if that type of creature is nearby or not.
That's
So
pretty
whatever
sure,
you
man.
have an idea of, spiders are beasts, like natural beasts, creatures. And I can kind of break them down a little bit. Aberrations are think travelers of the stars and the space around. Celestials are heavenly bodies. Dragons, I don't have to explain. They're dragons. Elementals come from the elemental plane. All 4 or 5 of them. The Fae are from the Feywild. They're natural creatures like fairies, satyrs, for instance. Fiends are devils, and undead are, the non-living.
So I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that actually sounds like it's gonna be very helpful. Because it's a real long shot if I pick the right thing. So, in which case, I am all for stabby spiders. Or, alternatively, we burn the town down.
That would take a lot of time, though. We'd have to build a burn circle around the town so we don't set the forest on fire. And... That's a lot of digging. So
Thought
stabbing
I'd offer.
spiders?
I guess we continue on to stab spiders and hope we don't die.
Yeah, so we kind of move a little bit forward, staying a little bit further away from that tree because I'm not sure what it can do to us.
Okay.
And kind of investigate some of the surrounding buildings.
So I will take you into the town here in a second, but so Winchester, when you, I don't see you in roll 20. When you entered into the town, you came south, so in the north route into town. Do the 3 of you want to take that same path? Or come from a different direction? Because you can circle around the town if you want. You tell
Why?
me if you want to come from the north, south, east, west.
What do you
Well,
think?
I vote we don't do either of the things that y'all did in your little head games because obviously that did not work.
I mean, it worked. I figured out what it is, kind of. but it does know we're coming.
I'll follow the
thank
big
you.
furry men.
Pause. Okay, so one of you has to decide. Are you just gonna come down? Well, actually, Winchester, since you're the one that had the vision, and this is the path that you came down, do you want to come from the north?
So we're coming from the north, and that's directly in. So we're going south, correct?
Yes. That's the way that you came from in your vision.
I'd say we maybe go west, around west. Gives us a little bit more daylight.
Okay. So it is a small town, so it only takes you a couple minutes. You walk around the town and kind of come in from the west. Right outside the clearing on the tree line, the trees are actually grown onto the side of this building, and the roots have kind of combined into the brick of this building. This long building that just goes along that path. There's a couple windows on the side of this building. Otherwise, you would have to continue and come from the south.
It's kind of blocked off. Can we peek into some of the windows?
Yes. You want to peek in? You see two windows. So it seems like there's three buildings kind of lined side by side. On the far left and the far right, there's windows on this side of the building.
Just peek in the far left one, the one closest to us.
Okay. So you go toward that window. Are you going by yourself to peek in?
I'm going by myself.
Okay. So
I'll
Winchester.
follow a few steps behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
You kind of break off. The two of them keep close to you. You walk up to this window and peek in. You can see vines overgrown through what is a bar. The side closest to you is behind the bar. You see shattered glass, mugs and steins just thrown all over the place. Tables on the far side of the building from you. Chairs tipped over. A couple of the tables completely cracked in half.
Kind of just step away and keep walking towards the south. Kind of just let them know everything's kind of broken in there and a little bit dark. I didn't notice any signs of life or creatures in there.
Can we just go in the window? I mean, I'm pretty small. I should be able to fit.
You look at yourself, look at Winchester, and look at Inara. You think Inara might be slender enough to squeeze through this little window.
I see him assessing me, and I turn and say, "Oh, so now I'm bait?"
No, I wanted to go in, but I don't think I'll fit. So how are we getting into town? We just go around these buildings and see what's in there?
I think we can kind of wrap around just a little bit.
Okay.
If not, we'll come back and find a way in through that window if we don't see anything by the time we hit the south side.
Break down the wall.
So you continue down past the second building with no window to the third one. You see the window. This one has no shutters to it. It's completely opened, and you can see vines coming from the outside of the walls in and going into the building through the window. Winchester, you're closest to it. Do you also want to peek into this one?
Very carefully.
You carefully peek in, and you see this library. The library has shelves kind of lined up from the window, parallel to it, 3 line shelves, and a large one to your left. You see a shape on the far side of the building. It's dark in here, just a little bit of light peeking through the window. You can see a door, but it's closed. But that's all you can see. You can see something just kind of out of your vision on the far side of the room. It's dark. If you got a little closer, you could see it, you think.
I kind of look back at Algar and Anar, and I'm like, guys, I see something. Come here. Just so they can kind of have my back if anything goes down. And then I peek in just a little bit further.
I think my spear is still a light, which casts bright light within 40 feet. And then dim light within 40 feet beyond that. I don't know if that matters, because...
So are you going to keep it lit and kind of behind him?
I don't think I shut it off.
No, you're just walking off this hemisphere.
So, incognito.
So you're at this small window, and you, Anar, you're a ways back, and you just see Winchester, this large bugbear, kind of peeking into this tiny window, and the larger bugbear next to him with a flaming spear, keeping the spear just behind him. Both of them towering over, bent over at this window because it's lower than them at normal size.
What do you see?
Winchester, the light from the spear is kind of just making almost like a flashlight effect, where it's just making a beam of light through the room, and you actually see something kind of moving on the far side of the room thanks to this light.
Something's moving. I'm gonna ask Algar, okay, let's come a little closer. Let's bring in some of the light. Either something's trying to stay out of the light, or let's get a glimpse of what this thing is.
While that's happening, I'll look around the window. I mean, there's a bunch of vines, and vines are detrimental to buildings. Let's just see if there's any cracks or anything in the wall.
Oh, the stone is cracked, and you actually see the vines kind of intertwined in the stone at this point, almost like it's holding it together. You peek your head a little further into the window, and you see Algar kind of adjusts his spear, and the beam of light goes toward that thing that's moving, and you just see a large leaf on the far end of the room, kind of just waving at you almost. And then you hear to the right of your head, just like almost like a spray bottle, like tss, loud next to you, as this huge red flower on the wall turns and it sprays you with the dust.
It's probably not good.
Make me a Constitution saving throw.
Is this a poison, perchance?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters. Constitution.
Tripping balls, man.
I don't think I took the rune that gives me poison resistance. I think that's Hill Giant. So it's fire.
We both do a Constitution.
Yeah, both of you. Okay. Algar, you're fine. You kind of back away as you see this spray, and a little bit gets on you, and you cough a little, but you're unaffected. Winchester, you back away, and you end up in a coughing and sneezing fit, and you go a little pale. Algar, you're looking at him, and his eyes and nose start running. He begins coughing frantically.
You don't look good, Winchester.
As I look at him like this, I don't feel good either.
Your skin begins to get a little itchy, almost like you have fleas and ticks. Almost, you kind of feel like something crawling on your skin. Almost.
Just being a furbolg and being so in tune with nature, would I have any clue of what's going on or how to help them?
Without taking a look at the specific plant, you know a few that do this.
Right.
You assume it's some sort of pollen that it sprayed on him.
Ooh. Hopefully it didn't impregnate him. Okay. Could I...
I promise you it's not a xenomorph.
Okay, nothing's gonna burst out of his chest.
Okay.
Can I use my spear and try to touch the flaming spear to the flower so I can see it? But hopefully by the time I touch it, it'll not attack
So you want
me.
to put your arm with the spear through the window because it was on the inside.
Yeah.
You reach your arm, leading with the spear, still on fire, through the window. Your body can't fit through this small window.
Okay. Yeah. So I wouldn't be able to see it while I'm looking through them,
Yeah.
probably. Okay. Do we want to go in there?
Well, we probably want to help old boy first.
As he's continuing to sneeze and cough frantically, you can see him itching his body.
Can I do anything to help him? I don't have.
You tell me
any
what you wanna do.
spells. I would like to try and slap something together that would counteract this. Maybe throw something in his face.
Is there any water nearby?
Inara, you get the idea of water, and you look around. You go past the building to the south of it, and you see a well, actually.
In the town or out of the town?
Actually, just a little to the south of the building you're at, so just on the outskirts of the town almost. With that, I can actually, give me 1 second, move you all.
Don't you worry, Chester. I will either fix you or stab you in the back.
At least either way, he wouldn't feel the pain he's in now.
Move you guys over to the small village.
Nice.
You're on the far left-hand side of the map, near the bottom.
Might be a dumb question. How do I move these little blocks that are blocking my thing?
1 second. Go.
You can zoom in and out. Are you talking about like the name blocks on the
Forgot
bottom?
about that.
Yeah. Oh, I can just scroll. Never mind. It's fine.
Yeah. You can right click and drag the map too.
There you go.
Wow. Amazing. Okay. I am gonna... Is there a bucket in this well?
You don't see anything kind of above this well, no buckets near it, and it's just dark down the well.
Hey, can you shine your magical ding-dong spear down this little hole real quick so we can see if there's any water in this bad boy?
My spear's not a ding dong. He still comes over, points it down in the well.
You walk over to the well and you hold your spear over it. The two of you look down. The well goes for a bit, and you do see water at the bottom, but you do see a few things kind of bobbing in the water.
I'll just look to Inara with like realization on my face. I have a water skin on me.
with water in it?
Yes.
Why don't we just go dump that on old coffee boy over here? Douse him real quick. Maybe waterboard him a little. I didn't say that. Never mind. But like, just, you know.
Are you sure you don't want to stab him?
Not today.
I'll walk back over. I didn't realize what was in my explorer's pack.
You walk over where Winchester is, and you just see him like with his back against the wall, and you see him going up and down using the wall to scratch his back.
I'll just try to like throw my water skin in his face because he got sprayed in the face, right? Would I have seen that?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll try to spray this in his face and see what happens.
You open your large water skin and dump it on his face, and then lift it above his head as it rains down. Winchester, you feel this just almost like it's a salve, just this relief, this cooling relief down your body.
Nice.
Oh, thanks, man.
It was her idea. She said to waterboard you.
Hey, but did it work? You're welcome. Also, I also have a water skin, but I'm glad we used yours.
I'm glad you guys realized that sooner than later.
Also, I do think there's something in that well. Just as a very much side note, there's definitely things in there.
What did you see?
Water spiders.
I can't be sure, but they are floating. You could go take a look if you want. Maybe you'll get sprayed
done
again.
looking into things. Not it. 1, 2, 3.
What? I
Said
got
1, 2, 3, not it.
torches.
Hey, you have
All right,
torches.
so-
Let's just drop one down.
Yeah.
So we just
Nice.
learned that obviously there's something with these plants.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
don't like you.
Yeah.
It's
They
almost
don't
like
like
they're
my fire
alive.
either. They scream when I do that.
Can't y'all
So-
talk to them and tell them that, you know, we're just here to kill the big, scary, mean thing that's overtaking their root cycle or whatever plants say?
You already tried to
Yeah.
talk to them, didn't you?
Well, I mean, I tried to listen to them. I didn't say anything. You could just talk to them. They can hear you.
Just put my hand on a nearby tree. We're here to help. We mean no harm. I tried.
That was powerful. Wow.
Yes,
Let's
you-
go look in the well.
Thank you.
All right. So, after putting his hand on the tree and speaking to it, with no response, of course, the three of you huddle around this well and look down. I assume, Algar, you want to hold your spear over to shine
I'm
some
gonna light a
down?
torch. I have 10 torches. We'll light a torch and
Okay, so you're gonna hold your torch to your spear, then drop the torch down.
yeah.
Okay. So you light your torch, you stand over the well, and you drop it down the well. All three of you watch it fall for a second, and you see it as soon as it hits the water on the bottom. Everything ignites, and the whole bottom of the well is lit up in a pool of fire.
Well, good thing we didn't throw that on Winchester.
Call me crazy, but I don't think that's water.
What do you guys think it is?
I don't know,
Something
Chester. What lights on
combustible.
fire?
Oil, alcohol.
Alcohol.
Maybe it's alcohol.
Drop me down.
What we should get gallons of this thing. Cut open one of the trees, put it into the veins, and then ignite it and burn the whole tree up.
And just sell it as fire water.
I mean, I like all of these ideas. Can we get some up here, though?
I don't have a bucket.
I don't think so.
I don't even think I have rope.
Well, if you see a bucket, that might be a good thing to add to our little tools.
Is there anything, being a furlough, kind of any intuition or knowledge of what it could be in the well?
You're not sure exactly what it is. You know that alcohol is flammable, different oils are flammable, some magic agents are flammable. There's quite a few things it could be.
Y'all want to go check out town? If we do, just stay close to me. I can keep things from harming you too much.
Yes, let's go.
I suppose. Is it time to stab anything yet? I'm getting bored.
I'm trying to find you something. I'm just gonna go in. I'm gonna try to give a wider berth through like the trees here, just because I don't want to get spat on by a flower or grabbed by vines.
Okay.
Is that a door right above?
Yes.
Oh.
So Winchester, this is the building, the library that you peeked in through, and this is the door that you saw on the far side of the room.
Mm.
So you notice this as you walk by, and real quick, just kind of let me know where you're gonna go before going too far. Algar, the two of you watches. Algar walks around the trees toward the center of town, and as soon as you kind of step toward the center of town, this feeling of dread, almost negative energy, kind of hits you.
Mm.
What
And
does...
actually, with that,
Oh no.
What does detect magic do again?
you're fine. It basically highlights things that are magical around you.
Not super useful right now, I don't think. I think a lot of things would light up.
Unless that well is magical. A magical well.
Alright. I was
I still
gonna
think we
like,
could have just burned the town down.
but people lived here. Well, used to at least. I'll look back and just kind of shout, "You guys coming?"
I
on my way.
guess.
Okay, so the two of you, I'm gonna say, walk around the tree instead of through the tree,
Yes.
and kind of meet up with Algar. And as you also approach, you feel the same almost negative energy, just this feeling of dread and weary, kind of setting off like danger sense to a degree. And all three of you make me a wisdom save.
We're screwed. Does anyone else feel not very cash money right now?
Oh, hold on.
That wasn't good.
Wisdom. I have something. I think I have advantage on wisdom saves. Which one is it?
Also, Inara, let me go into your character sheet. I think you're set to advantage. Oh, disadvantage. We'll set you back to normal. But we'll take the first roll, which was a 9.
Yikes.
Okay.
Oh, I have advantage on wisdom checks, not saves.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be like perception, things like that.
Yeah.
So we all just died.
So
I'll
the
have an
three of
advantage
you
on-
feel this sense of anger come toward you. The three of you look at each other, and all three of you, whatever weapon you're currently holding, make me a melee weapon attack.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
I technically have 3 melee attacks on attack.
You just do one.
Okay.
What if we're not really holding a weapon right now?
Well, whatever weapon is closest as you grab it.
That would be my dagger.
Of course you do.
Yo!
Okay. And
What
Oh,
the ass?
actually, there's a little more.
oh
Because
my
my
god.
spear's on fire. So it also has, what was it,
One-
1d4?
1d8. Let me check.
It's 2d8 fire damage.
So
Or
roll me
2d6 fire damage, sorry.
Roll me.
2d6. So it's not, that's not bad, right guys?
So roll me 2d6. And Winchester, you can roll your great club.
I'm probably not
So-
gonna crit for the rest of the game after I hit you guys.
So Winchester, on your core character sheet in the middle are all of your attacks, and you just click Great Club on the name of it.
On your weapon.
I did. I didn't do anything else. Oh,
Nope.
Oh, no. In the middle of your character sheet, you'll see attacks and spellcasting. It starts with light crossbow at the top, and then just beneath that, Great Club.
Under your hit points. Down. List of weapons. Click the weapon.
yeah, under item name, right?
Above that one, you should see...
Yeah, above item name, you'll see attacks and spellcasting.
And damage type is on the right side.
Yeah, so it'll say name, attack, damage type. There you go.
Sure.
Huh.
The
The law
Thank
of
you for
averages.
sucking.
Okay. So how you guys are oriented. Algar, you take your spear in hand and you stab at Winchester, stabbing into his thigh with your spear. Winchester, you take 20 points of damage.
And that's with the fire damage too?
Yep. Winchester, you swing at Anara. Anara, you sense this coming. You duck out of the way, and you take your dagger out and stab into the heel of Algar.
How?
Algar, you take 5 piercing damage. This happens within a second in a rush, and then all 3 of you snap out of it, as if you don't know why you just attacked each other.
I'll pull my spear out of Winchester's thigh and look at Inara. I thought you were supposed to stab him.
And in my defense, I stabbed you.
Yeah, you went for my Achilles heel.
I think we should probably back up really quick and maybe
And then
figure out-
re-enter and do it again.
No, I mean, well, no. But what if it comes back and then we kill each other?
What do you guys think caused that?
I
Ops,
feel like
bad
it's that
things.
ominous aura. I don't know if it can. Being magically inclined, would I know if that could be done randomly while we're here, or is that just more of like an entry, defense
Force
mechanism?
You don't know. You know there's some creatures that have magical abilities that allow them to take control of others' minds. You know there's spells to do that, but there's a wide variety of ways that could happen. And most you're not really familiar with.
It could be the Spider King making us attack each other, or it could be other things. If that's
I think it has something to do with the plants and the pollen in the air, maybe.
Could be.
It's almost like a. Did we already use the detect magic,
No.
Algar?
I can use detect magic and see what happens.
And that's within 30 feet.
I don't know. I just have. We both can. It's just verbal magic. You can detect magic and disguise self.
Yeah, let's do the detective magic.
I will detect magic and see what I see.
Okay, you cast Detect Magic and look around. As you kind of peer through your eyes with this spell active, you start at the ground and you see, since standing there and chatting, one of the vines from the tree to your right is actually slowly moving toward your foot. The vine is glowing in a magic aura.
You see that vine that wasn't there a few seconds ago? It's coming for us. And
Uh,
it was all glowed up magically.
Burn it. Burn it now. Light it on fire. Or
Can
I
I,
could stab it, but I don't think that's effective.
can I take an actual attack on it instead of just trying to touch it with fire? Just like
Yeah, make the attack.
jab it in there.
At advantage, actually.
Crap. This.
I wish I had a flaming spear. I want to stab
How do
stuff
I-
with flames.
Do it as advantage right away.
So at the top of your sheet, you click advantage. You should
Oh.
see.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you spin your spear in your hand, holding it down, and you stab it into the vine, splitting it down the middle as it ignites and burns toward the tree up to a point and stops. And you actually see that vine start kind of almost slithering about on the ground until it burns. You look up at the vine as it continues toward the tree, and all of the vines wrapped around the trees are highlighted with this magic aura. And you quickly look around, kind of following the vines around the village, and it leads to the big tree in the center, which is just highlighted in a magic aura.
All these vines that you see here, they're all connected to the big tree, and I'll point with my spear. I think if we, like Nara's been saying, burn down the tree, we might hinder this at least.
Well, why don't we start with the vines and burn all of these ones real quick and start making our way that way? Because if there's less vines, maybe there's less stabby of each other and we can actually stab something that's fun to stab, you know?
And the three of
Guys,
you,
I'm just-
as you're chatting, make me a wisdom saving throw.
Freaking frack. Told us to back up. I swear on my nuts. Dang it.
Oh, I only hit for a
You just-
15.
You got to make the wisdom save throw first.
Oh, I just wanted to attack you guys. I'm sorry.
Just wanted to attack. Winchester, you succeed, and randomly, Inara, make me a dagger attack, and Algar, I'll just use the first roll.
That was nice of you.
Winchester, you're not affected by this, so you're having you're literally mid conversation with them, and you see Algar spin his spear in his hand and make a swipe at you toward your head. You duck down, and then you feel this pinch in your back, and you turn around, and Inara has her dagger in your back. A similar feeling to your vision, and you take 10 piercing damage. The two of you snap out of that quick trance. Inara, you're standing there with your dagger in Winchester's back.
This isn't what it looks like. I pull it out and sheath it, and I take a couple steps away from them.
Algar would kind of, in almost a growl, can your Drake spout fire?
I mean, he has a breath weapon if that's what you're asking, but he's blue.
As Kaya's just looking around, just not caring at what's going on.
So it's lightning. Sorry, I'll clarify.
I have a feeling Elgar would say, you guys step back, and then he would storm toward the main tree and try to set it on fire, because that's his personality.
So you're telling them to step back?
Yeah, and well, I would be moving forward towards the main tree in the center and wanting to set it on fire. I have tinder boxes and torches and a flaming spear.
Okay. So Anara and Winchester, you hear Algar say, "Stay back," and he begins to walk toward the tree. As he's walking away from you, what do the two of you do?
Backpedaling pretty quickly, keeping my eyes on him and the tree, but backing up.
Stay away from each other at least. I'll just light the vines on fire, I guess. And I will also pull out my torches and my thingy and light the vines on fire. And I will also, as I'm lighting my torch, take out my dagger and just kind of like stab the vine a couple times aggressively and then light it on fire.
Okay. So the sequence of events, Winchester, you turn around and start walking out of the town a bit down the road. Anara, you follow him for a second and then split off toward one of the trees. Algar, you walk to the main tree in the center. This thing is towering above you. And you have your spear in hand. You're just going to go up and do what?
I will try to set maybe like some of the leaves and branches on fire. Yeah, because I don't really want to sheath my weapon to pull out a torch, and because I'm assuming I have to sheath my weapon to take out a torch and tinderbox and throw them out.
Yes, because you have your shield in your other hand. You approach with your spear ready to stab at the tree. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
I'm really good at these guys.
Yes.
See, one better.
You walk up to the tree and go to stab at it. And you feel this almost force stop you for a second. You take 18 psychic damage.
You just reduced the points for me, right?
Yep.
Good. See, I don't think I saw that.
And see here. Hey, you didn't fail that much. Okay. You feel the almost nauseous, like everything starts kind of spinning around you, and you begin hearing cackling in the back of your head as you look around, and everything's kind of shifting around. All the trees and vines and buildings almost seem fluid.
As that
Like-
happens,
I would say, like you ate one of, what was his name? Uridas's bad mushrooms, almost.
I would just yell out, and again, almost a growl, just angry. Show yourself, you coward. Nothing.
So you're holding your spear, and you're kind of like almost hallucinating, and you're hearing this maddening cackle in the back of your head as you're looking around, and the two of you, you're stabbing at the vine, Anara. You just hear what he thought was just a quiet shout in front of him. Just hear Algar screaming, "Show yourself," in the middle of the forest as he's looking around frantically.
I am gonna. Okay, this might work, but we don't know for sure. Okay, so we're just gonna figure it out real quick. I'm gonna take a little piece of my sleeve and I'm gonna rip that shit off, and I'm going to wrap it around one of my arrows, and I'm gonna light it on fire, and I'm gonna shoot it at the stupid tree.
Okay. So you do exactly that. You rip off some of the cloth from your shirt you're wearing over your armor. Light it on fire with the torch, prime it, and shoot. Make me the shot. Fire your bow.
Please hit the stinking tree, please.
Please
Come
don't
on
hit
now.
me.
Hit the tree. Hit the tree.
So, Algar, you're yelling, show yourself, and kind of spinning around in place,
Mhm.
and you see Inara knock an arrow, and she fires the bow. Inara, you don't aim anywhere near him, and it doesn't fly anywhere near him. But for you, it looks like it's coming directly at you, and you duck down to the ground. And this arrow sinks into the tree. And Inara, you see one of the branches of the tree swing by and slap the arrow out of it.
Okay, did the fire at least like do anything?
You can see it singed some of the bark of the tree.
This. Oh.
And now, we're actually going to initiate combat.
Damn.
Combat with a tree.
Combat initiative.
If only someone had a bucket and some freaking rope.
And as we're initiating combat, I look at both of you and be like, we were here for fucking spiders.
And let me do this real quick.
We had bad mushroom intel.
Okay. Winchester. So you watch this go down. Let me remove Kai from the pathing here. Winchester, you watch as Inara shoots an arrow toward the tree. Algar ducks down, nowhere near where she shot. And you watch as this tree moves and brushes the arrow out of its bark.
Hey, I just realized something, guys. I have rope.
Not your turn, Inara, but it's good to know. Winchester, what do you do?
Find your fucking rope then. I
Lucky Rambo. Go on. Winchester is not having an allergic reaction anymore. They
I'm gonna
washed him. He smells like wet dog, though.
am not having it. Yeah. I'm gonna take a wild shape as a griffin. And then get some high ground.
Memento. Double check one thing.
He can wild shape like 6 times now, right? It's new canon.
Griffin is not a beast. You can't shapeshift into it. You can't wild
Like a
shape into it. It
different
is a
big bird.
monstrosity.
Bigger.
You could do like a giant, I believe, eel.
Owl bear, can they fly?
Is a dragon
Oh,
a
that's
beast?
not fun.
Damn.
No. And you can only shape wild shape into certain things. I believe it's half your level as CR.
Okay.
So, you, bird wise, you
As
could
a furlough,
do,
what comes to mind?
giant owls, a giant eagle. If you're looking to fly,
Falcon?
just a normal falcon.
Okay.
Giant.
I think I'm gonna do a giant falcon.
We will use the giant eagle
Massive
stat sheet,
talons.
but we will say you're a falcon.
For speed and agility. I just want to get some high ground. Bird bird's eye view.
Okay.
I just want to stab a tree.
Okay, so you
Does it-
spend your actions,
As
or is it a bonus action for you?
Bonus.
I think it's a bonus action.
Let me double check. Yep. Okay. It's just circle of the moon. So you bonus action, change into a giant falcon. And let me give you access to its character sheet. Do-do-do. Winchester. Winchester. Okay.
Sweet.
So you can access the giant falcon's character sheet. You have 80 feet of fly speed per turn, and you have its attacks. I'm going to leave your normal character where he is, but you control the giant
Okay.
falcon.
Awesome.
So you're on the ground right now. Would you like to take flight?
I would like to take flight straight up.
How far? You have 80 feet of flying.
And that's per turn? Or per
Yes.
Yeah, per turn. I would like to do. Can I get an idea of how tall this tree is? Just like to guess.
So you start
Just like
flying
before I
up
take flight, just get an idea of how tall.
with your nice falcon vision. You look over the tree. It's about a little more than 30 feet tall.
Okay. I would like to take a 60, 30, let's go 50 feet straight up and then kind of hovering and soaring around the tree and then also the city and just kind of taking a bird's eye view of what I can see.
Okay. So you fly 50 feet up, and
So about
then
20 feet above.
30 feet over toward the center of town.
in like
So
a
you're right
circular
about there.
motion.
And you're kind of just hovering where you are. You look down to get an oversight of the village. You see all the buildings. Majority of the roofs are still held together, covering the inside of the buildings. The tree, you can see from the top all of its brush moving around as the tree looks active and is kind of swaying.
Okay. Can I do an investigation from that height?
Specifically for what?
Anything within the shrubbery or
Okay, you're trying to-
particularly the top of the tree, kind of looking what's at the top.
So
It
use
looks- it
your
looks like a knife. Yeah.
your character sheet. Make me a perception check.
Okay. Stand by.
The good news, guys, there's no enemies on the turn order, so I mean, as long as you don't stab each other.
Or catch some psychic damage.
I
Sir.
mean,
Okay, so you look over the top of the tree, looking over the brush on it. You don't see any sort of other creatures moving about the tree. Everything looks like it's just the tree itself.
Okay.
So that's about everything you can do with your turn.
Okay. And I let out like a falcon.
Inara and Algar, you hear this above you, just this falcon kind of screech. And let me do it here, because next is actually the tree. And I'm going to roll. Okay.
Haha. Does that mean it hits himself?
No, that's its recharge.
Oh.
So the three of you, well, actually just two of you, Algar and Winchester, roll me wisdom saving throws.
Not me.
Nope.
Bless. Dude, you're doing amazing.
I just like to attack you guys. It's the only thing I got a nat 20 on is to attack
Alright.
you guys.
Both of you are filled with a murderous rage. You turn toward each other. So, Winchester, you're hovering about, and you just, in your bird form, feel anger. For Algar, you turn and set your eyes on Inara a distance away. Inara, you see Algar stand up from the ground, his spear in hand, and he's turned away from the tree and is looking at you. It's your turn.
Well, sheesh. I either get to stab you or try what I was going to try. And you know what? I don't like any of these options right now very much. Hey, watch yourself. I'm going to.
Let's measure this distance.
You
What's
could
your
do that.
moving speed for the record?
No, you don't need to know that.
Okay, great. Yeah, perfect. It's less than 45 feet, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to Kairinio shares my initiative, yes?
He goes after you, but he does share your initiative.
Okay, super.
But you have to spend a bonus action giving him a command. Otherwise, he just follows.
Yes. Oh man, I don't really want to shoot you, dude. It's kind of lame. I'm gonna.
I'm not going to stab you. I'm not
I
going to
don't
shoot
want to
you.
hurt you.
I don't, but I do love to stab things. I'm going to. Man, you guys are really just. You're messing my groove.
I'm sorry, Inara.
A 60-foot cone. Oh yeah, no, that'll screw you guys for sure. That's not gonna go well. Sorry. Nope, not gonna do that. Sorry, 1 second. I had a whole plan, and you guys really kind of threw my plan way off.
You see Winchester begin walking toward you.
Okay,
What are you
great.
doing?
I'm going to shoot an arrow. Not Winchester.
Or not Winchester.
Algar. I'm gonna shoot an arrow at Algar's leg where the griffin scraped his ass. Sorry. And then I'm going to command Kairinio to take a lit torch. I'm gonna hand it to him and fly up and drop that bad boy right in the middle of the tree, but like above it, not within reach, because the tree will not touch my baby.
Okay. So with your free hand, you hand Kai a torch. He eats it in his mouth. You take your hand back, pull your bow, and fire. Fire your bow.
Sorry, dude.
Beats it, right?
It beats his AC. So you shoot him in the leg, dealing 10 piercing damage. The arrow just sticks.
I'm sorry.
And then Kai, his wings sprout out, and he flies up. You gave him the command, so he has 40 feet of fly per turn. So we'll say, to get above the tree, he flies straight up, and then he uses his dash action for an additional 40 feet to fly above the tree, which is 50 feet, and then he has 30 more. So he's 50 feet in the air. He's actually right next to Winchester.
God bless America. Shoot. Chicken nuggets on
that-
a stick.
Ends your turn.
Wait, did he drop the torch?
He's not
Oh, he-
above the tree yet.
Chicken nuggets. Okay.
Rob,
Yes.
when you say angry, like,
Filled with a blinding rage. You're also slightly hallucinating. So you
and
are
she
just.
did shoot an arrow at me. The round
This is
before.
now a gladiator death match to you.
I action surge dash to get all up in her business. Because I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would be attacking her, but I can attack 3 times.
You would
with my
make all 3
spear.
attacks. This is the full effect of its ability.
Mhm.
I'm about to die.
And then that's also on fire, so 1, 2.
So we take the first and the third hit. So Algar, you sprint over to Inara. Inara, you see him close the distance extremely fast as he dashes toward you. He stabs once, cutting into your side with his spear as it singes the wound as it cuts, dealing 21 damage. He strikes with it again. You dodge out of the way of the second attack. And you go to step back further to dodge the third, but one of the vines actually is just behind your heel, and you trip a little bit as his third one stabs you in the thigh, dealing 21 more damage.
Ouch.
Algar, believe that's all you can do?
I think so.
We'll say that's all you do.
Yeah, that's all I can do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And real quick, roll me a wisdom save throw.
Oh.
You have it.
And
Okay. Winchester, as your giant falcon, you are locked onto Algar. You feel a burning rage, the intent to kill, kind of almost like you're the predator bird itself, and Algar is a mouse that you just spotted.
I'm still just hovering 50 feet up.
Yep, and you have every intent to kill Algar.
I don't want to,
But you have
you
to.
do.
but I have to.
You want to.
I'm going to have to charge him with my talons.
Okay. So you
Slow
use
him
your
down.
fly speed to fly down, and he's close enough. You get toward the ground in front of him, make your talon attack. And you make one with your beak. To use both.
I get 2 attacks, yes.
Yep. One with your beak and one with your talon. Go ahead. It's okay, Algar. Ignore that. Don't use that ability.
What, this? The one
Don't
I'm-
do it. Don't do it. I know
No
what you're thinking.
reactions? Okay.
Don't do it.
Okay.
All right, and make the talon
So
attack.
there's my talon. Talon.
Okay. So, Winchester, you fly down toward Algar with your talons out. Algar, you notice him behind you, and you turn with your shield and catch his talons on your shield as he tries to peck over. You push him off. And Winchester, make me a wisdom save throw. you no longer feel the murderous intent. You're kind of hovering above Algar as you were just attacking him, but you just kind of got bearing, and you don't know why you were just attacking him.
So hallucinogenics.
And that was all of your move speed, and you did your attacks, so that will be the end of your turn. So you don't get bonus actions as a bird.
I still want to kill everyone, don't I?
You don't have to use everything. Just
Okay,
enough. Okay.
We still have every-
Inara. Inara, Algar just rushed you and stabbed you a couple times. You're bleeding from both the wounds.
If I back up, does he get an attack of opportunity at this point?
Yes, he does.
Of course he does. So now I get to stab him in the face. How unfortunate for all of us. Mostly you, less me.
Said
I mean,
you like stabbing. I mean,
yeah, well, I did say I like stabbing things that deserved to be stabbed, and I guess today it's you. Surprise. So I will actually, since now we're fighting, I'm going to go ahead and
Oh, and technically, because Winchester is next to him and is no longer an enemy toward you, it procs sneak attack, by the way.
I get sneak attack.
Mm-hmm.
So close to you, yeah.
Perfect. You ready to die? I'm actually going to pull out my quarterstaff because I have that lovely thing called dueling and I get extra damage bonus with a one-handed melee weapon.
Mhm.
And I'm going to beat him in the face with it really
Okay.
hard.
So you step back, you reach for your quarterstaff as you stow your bow, and you swing. What's your sneak attack?
Wait, what?
Sneak
You didn't
attack's
check it, but you can roll it again. Not the attack. What's the total damage for your sneak attack?
I don't know.
So it's underneath. Oh wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm used to you playing a rogue. You're not a rogue.
Oh,
You're just
yeah,
a main.
no.
You don't get
I don't
sneak
even-
attack.
Uh,
You
but I
just hit
do
him.
actually have an extra attack. Fun fact that I just learned because I
Yep.
can't read. So I actually get 2 attacks. So I'm gonna beat him in the
Swing
face, and then I'm gonna take his knees out.
Okay. Roll the second attack.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Both actually beat his armor. So you swing your quarterstaff at his head, and you hear it clank against his helmet. He turns his head to it, and you spin around and slam it into the arrow that you shot at his leg, digging the arrowhead deeper but breaking the shaft of the arrow.
Home run.
And Algar, you take 14 damage.
You dealt me 40, so I don't think we're even yet.
No, we're not. I have a turn coming up. I don't want to kill
And-
any of the teammates.
Hang on, because now her turn's over, and Kai is following his last instructions. So he continues to fly, and you see Kai hovering 10 feet over the tree. He drops the torch into the middle of it. And Inara, as you're the only one looking in that direction, you see the torch fall into the tree and start igniting all of the top of its brush as the tree begins to frantically swish about. Algar, you feel the murderous rage calm as your mind comes back, and your hallucinations stop. You have a moment of pure clarity, and you look at Nara with a couple mad wounds to her. And it goes to Algar.
So I no longer want to kill her, right? Or anyone on my team. Okay. I just kind of look at you confused. And it comes to me like, Shit. Whoops. Should we like leave?
Are you gonna say something to them? Or
Yeah. I would be saying this to them. Just like, should we leave?
say it.
What?
So you're using your free action to speak to them real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah. Should we leave this place and get more intel, maybe from the guild? I
Okay,
feel
so-
like I almost killed you.
So he says this to the two of you. You have a moment to respond. Just a quick response.
I smack him in the face.
Murderous
Not
rage
like
comes
anything
back.
crazy, but just a little.
Well, not enough to actually do anything, but
No.
say something back. So you go to slap him. And Winchester, you are your eagle, but you can actually speak.
You mean
Your
leave, like, kind of take a different direction away from the tree?
Okay, so that's all of your dialogue for your free action.
Okay.
Algar. What do you do now?
Still no murderous rage.
No murderous rage.
I am going to leave the town. I'll use a dash action to like get out of there and get away from everyone so I don't kill them. Because my whole MO is actually protection, and I've been doing the opposite of that this whole game.
So Inara, roll me an attack with just your quarterstaff real quick. Did that hit? No, okay. So you go to slap Algar as he runs away from you as he says this, but he notices this and steps away from your slap, and you see him run past you.
And I would get my full 60 feet away from them to not
Okay.
murder them.
So you leave the town, and Winchester, you're your bird. You'd go next. Are you going to follow him?
I don't know.
Is the tree
Gotta make
still
a
on
decision.
fire?
The tree is indeed on fire.
Like burning.
It's ignited.
So with the perception, can I see if before I make the decision to follow Algar, if the tree is going to be destroyed?
You see it ablaze, but you can't really determine whether or not what it's going to do. You see it moving about, but you see it on fire.
I'll go back with Algar with the sense to kind of regroup and get a better understanding of what plan of attack we need to do. Because right now we're all attacking each other.
Okay, so you fly with Algar leaving town.
Thinking that creating some distance will take us out of that trance of attacking one another.
Okay. And Inara, so you see Algar run out of the town, and Winchester, as a giant bird, follows him, leaving town. What do you do?
I know biznitch. I take another piece of my sleeve, rip it off, wrap it around 2 arrows, light them on fire. I'm gonna launch those bad boys into the tree. We're not doing this.
Okay. So
Roll 'em
you fire. Go ahead. And the second? What's it? Okay. You see the tree frantically moving about ablaze. The first shot kind of gets lost in its brush, and you can't tell if it actually hit. The second shot, you see it sink into some of the wood, and that section also catches on fire. Do you end your turn?
And Then I back up a little bit and I call Kai to me.
Okay, so you want Kai to fly back.
Baby.
Okay, so you back up a little bit and call Kai. Kai begins to fly away from the tree. The tree has distance. And as he flies away from it, one of its branches swings up and makes a slam attack. Let me make the attack.
Child!
And it hits. It smacks Kai, dealing 18 total damage to Kai. The branch just slammed him in the sky, and you see him kind of twirling in the air, but he catches himself flying and stabilizes and keeps flying toward you.
You're telling me a flaming tree just hit my baby?
It smacked the shit out of him.
I'm very upset. I catch his very much larger than me body and let him squish me. And I just give him big hugs. And I say, I'm so sorry.
And are you going to leave or stay?
I'm gonna hop on his back and we're peacing out.
Okay. So Kai comes back. You shot an arrow at the tree, lighting it even more on fire. And the three of you kind of dash away from this town. You create some distance and look back, and you just see a large stalk of smoke coming from the village.
And we're at kind of a safe distance right now.
Yes, so actually, let me end the combat sequence. And more theater of the mind. So you're away from the village. You see the smoke kind of going up to the sky above. Still clouds, but you see that the sun at this point is beginning to set. You're kind of toward the evening time of day.
Well,
As you-
that was not excellent.
Yes, I'm a little confused. We got sent here because of arachnids, and right now we're fighting plants.
Wow,
just-
very astute observation, Chester. I'm so proud of you for that one.
So I don't know if this is some kind of side quest or if they're what's going on, but
Side quest. Side quest. Do you see my body right now? Side quest. I didn't even get to stab fun things. Algar.
You just see Elgar like deeply, deeply distressed. Like his whole life has been protecting others, and you guys, as part of the guild, is sworn to protect you, and all he's done is attacked you. So he is like having a crisis right now. He just looks at you, his eyes just looks
At least he's
down.
done well at that.
Yeah, I critted on Inara.
Would have been great if anyone else contributed anything to actually hit the tree. That would be awesome. But instead, everybody just hit me. And I'm not having a great time anymore. So am I stabbing something or am I killing both of you?
I don't think you want to do that.
I don't think you want
Ooh,
to go back
I
and
think
stab
I
the tree
might.
if need be. But I think we need to regroup and understand what the hell's going on, because we met a griffin on the way in here that told us to get the hell out of here. We were told that there were spiders here. We didn't see one spider, and we're battling a tree. I don't know a lot about trees. I know they do a lot of work with breezes, but what the heck's going on?
Do any of you guys have a bucket?
So fun fact, I do have a rope, and I did actually have a thought before you literally almost murdered me. What I was going to tell
The
you
tree
right
made
before
me do
you
what?
smashed me into bits was that you could take your empty water skin and tie it to my rope, and we could get some of the stuff out of the well and send Kai to dump it on the tree and then ignite it anymore. And you know what? Maybe then we don't all kill each other and die, or at least kill me.
Rob, did we get a sense of how far down the well was when we dropped the torch in?
Just about like 20 feet down.
20 feet down.
What if we dip your arrows in it with some cloth and just send a few more arrows in there? I don't want to get close to it and go into a murderous rage again.
Well, that sounds like a great idea. Look at you coming to the table with something other than stabby stabinara.
Well, I was also thinking if it's only 20 feet down, I do have a move earth. I can raise or lower the elevation, so I might be able to lower the tree 20 feet down, and we could just ignite it from the well itself. Just lower the
it's
roots down.
under it.
Do we have an idea how close the well is to the tree?
It was a fair distance away from the tree.
About
By
65
George.
feet.
That won't work. Okay.
But I like where your head is at. We could lower the tree and then you could fly over it. And because it's in the ground, we could still drop the spicy fire juice on it.
Or pour it on it and do it a few times.
I like that even better. We've got 2 flying creatures. What are we doing?
Killing each other.
No,
Yeah,
you're
that's why
killing
I'll-
each other.
That's my only
I
debacle,
am
because
protecting.
obviously there's something in the air that's snapping us into some kind of ketosis and destroying
Probably
each other.
the pollen.
Exactly. And as a furlough, would a furlough kind of have an idea of how to protect oneself from that?
You would probably have a better chance than me because you're actually magical. Well, more magical.
Got any defense mechanisms, or should we start making some spicy juice balls to drop in this damn tree before I finish the job that Algar started?
Okay, let's do it.
Excellent. I love this for us. Let's go to the well.
Okay, so you've all ran a distance away from the town. You've had this discussion where Inara has let you guys have it. You can see the flip in her personality at this point. Algar, this is your first time experiencing it. It's a little off-putting. You establish this plan and turn back and begin walking down the path. The stalk of smoke has grown much larger, beaming into the sky. And you develop this plan and get to the town, and you stand on the outside, and you just see the tree completely burnt.
Like ash or like black wood? Because
Like black
those-
wood.
Is it still on fire?
It's no longer moving, and the flames are small.
Smoldering.
I do not like this tree, and I realize that it is not moving, but I'm just going to say we still spicy juice this bad boy before we go any closer.
Let's catch it on fire again.
I love,
Can we do
I love
it?
this.
Can we investigate and just see if there's any, like with the vines and everything around, to see if that's also destroyed?
Why don't you cast your detect magic, you little magical creature?
Oh, I'm not an eagle anymore. Back to furlough.
For bold.
Yeah,
For bold.
your wild shape ended.
Furlough. I mean, come on. Why am I still talking about furlough? What the fuck? Furlough.
This isn't 2020,
Damn,
James.
so dyslexic. Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah, real quick. Winchester, do me a nature check.
Nature check.
Mhm.
Very naturey druid.
You approach the large tree in the center a bit, and as you approach, you don't feel that negative aura. As you get closer, you can tell the tree is dead.
Okay.
Like, for sure.
Back and I tell them both like, this thing is gone.
You approach even closer, and it doesn't move as you approach, and you are very sure it's dead.
You just-
I would like to light a torch, walk up, put the torch back on it, and stab it at the same time. Very, 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 very angrily and aggressively.
Don't be like the guy with a match hand and a gasoline can in his hand.
So,
I don't care.
Winchester, you walk up to the tree and kind of touch it, and you are 100% sure this thing is dead. As you start backing away, and you turn to go tell your allies, and you just see a Nara burst past you with her dagger in hand and a lit torch in the other, and she's putting her torch to the tree and starts stabbing at branches. And as she's doing that, you just see ash and pieces of it falling to the ground.
I just bow my head and just a small shake.
I'll just yell out, "Get her back, Winchester. She's obviously gone in a murderous rage again."
As we both kind of step away from her, just in case.
You walk back, and you even see Kai kind of just sat on the ground, like looking at the two of you.
I take the dagger after stabbing it repeatedly, and I put it in both hands, and I do a big jump move and land that right in the bark and scream, and then I pull it out, turn around, and say, "Hey, you guys, I'm pretty sure it's dead."
So
How
now
you feeling?
that it's dead, I say we kind of meander around and with a little bit of space between us, just in case if there's still any of that pollen in the air, and start kind of investigating the town to see if there's any more of that ore in there.
Just see me walk up to Winchester with my spear extended. See how far I have to be, and like take a couple of steps back.
You have established from this virus that seems to be going around, you've established a 5-foot rule.
10 foot for me.
10 foot.
I would like to walk over to one of the vines and stab the vine and see if it moves.
You stab the vine, and it does not move.
All right, well, I guess we can look in the buildings, but you should probably watch for flowers because eventually we'll run out of water and the well is full of gasoline of some sort. Okay.
So you have effectively killed the willow haunt in the center of town, and now the three of you gather back together and make a plan to check all of the buildings in town now that everything's settled down. It's beginning to get dark out, and that is where we will end the first episode of A Nightly Hunt.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
So thank you everyone for coming in and watching this episode. Looking forward to seeing y'all for part 2, and thank you Dak for rating us, and definitely leave a like if you haven't on the way out. We will see you guys here for the next episode in a couple weeks.
Awesome.